like at a loss for words. So we have Moxie's Clubhouse, warning VTubers to be aware of Astria Studios. But apparently, Moxie's was in talks with them for months, and they finally started commissions back in April. And Moxie's made another payment in May. Astria never provided any work in progress or proof that the stuff was being worked on. They were promised an update by June and never received it. And now Moxie's is out $1,000. Here, Moxie's have attached proof, so you can see. Saturday, June 21st on Twitter, I would like an update. And then they asked for a refund. And here in VGen, the communications are happening. This is May 2025, where the proposal was sent May 15th. So Astria got hacked also, so there was this update about that. And then there was the post about the scam allegations that they mass DM people. And you can see here in June, Moxie's like, yo, I haven't received my updates past the date. And then it looks like they submitted maybe a refund request twice, and Astria just denied both of them. And for some more clarification, this was a comment Moxie left under another comment about the 2 denied requests, where Moxie clarifies it was due to them getting banned on VGen. Our one active request, they took $1,000 and never showed any work in progress, ghosted us, and provided no updates. There are other allegations of others experiencing the same thing from the studio. We're working with VGen and getting our payments refunded. Thank you for the support. So, Misty, remember Misty? We did look at Misty's update a minute ago. Misty on July 4th writes, after 2 years of waiting, false promises, and endless follow-ups, I've officially lost the 620 euros I paid to CandyJam/Astria Studio for my first ever VTuber model. They vanished again after being suspended from VGen. So many of us were scammed. Time, money, and energy wasted. And now getting spammed by fake money recovery bots under the post and DM. Please be careful, those are scams too. And in terms of the payments, for clarification, Misty adds, 2 years ago, CandyJam made us pay on Alipay via Remitly. They have no customer support at all. My only hope was the promise of a refund from Astria Studio, her new studio. But only yesterday, I was advised to try to file a fraud claim with my bank insurance. We'll try that next week. And then a commenter says, Alipay, with like the wilted heart. And Misty says, yeah, and was unaware. It's my first mistake, even if I had her whole name, phone, and address. Now I'm giving advice to people to avoid the situation. A lot of these people who got scammed were original clients of CandyJam before CandyJam joined Astria Studios. CandyJam, from my understanding, wasn't on VGen. So a lot of people had paid them through Alipay. Is Alipay bad? Well, a lot of people in China use it. Apparently there's just no customer support. I'm not particularly familiar with it, so I can't really say. This is where it gets really bad. So here we have Starlight Sid writing, I'm sorry for you and everyone else who had a bad experience. I'm one of Candy's rig babies, and getting progress updates was very rare. Far and few in between months of waiting. I would get attention if I would bring up needing a refund or by spamming the Discord. I sincerely hope you're able to dispute it with PayPal. So next we have Bianca Kaita VT, who writes, I'm sorry you went through this. I got my model art and rig from the studio, and communication was atrocious. The quality is exceptional, but I had to hound them, and they would only respond when I'd say, I think I'm getting scammed. And they would have excuse after excuse. I commissioned them December 10th and didn't hear a peep until January 20th. Even after delivery, they didn't give me the proper mouth I paid for, and when trying to fix it, they messed the mesh up like 10 times. There was a weird square from part of the dress going across my booba when it would jiggle, and it looked like a weird sensor bar, and after them stating there was nothing wrong, I had to record a slow-mo video to explain. And they got snippy about making the adjustment. So Bianca cites that at least they got their model, but they hope everyone else can get their money back. So here, this is in January, where Bianca is DMing Astria trying to get a response. DMing. So here, Astria on January 20th finally gives an update. So that lack of communication and the snippy responses seems pretty standard. So DJ and Lavi says, I waited 5 months for mine, which I didn't mind, but I got given 3 due dates in between that. And of course, when one passes with just a sketch, work in progress, with no updates for a solid 3 months, it had me worried. I got ghosted multiple times, and now I can't even get new outfits or updates or anything done to her. So I have to have what I got. Magical Nay, remember we read their comment prior, they said they were my rigger and their customer service took forever and was horrid. I'm sorry you had to experience this. Yukio says, I'm so sorry about your experience. I commissioned them in December, and by the time they ghosted everyone, I was waiting on bug fixes. I've had to edit things myself and find workarounds. I'm very upset since I likely won't be able to have add-ons in the future. And Yukio adds that they're still very upset and they wanted to have a model rig and parent they could shout out and support, but unfortunately they ended up ghosting and scamming so many people, including them. So this one I have to translate because they're German. This is a VTuber by the name of Ryoko VT stating, why did I get scammed out of over 1.5k by a certain company, Astria Studio, for my 2.0? And that they're looking to try to commission the artist who made Saba's model. Z Teleco says, Astria Studios is a pain in the butt to work with. I'm unsure if I've ever posted a bigger thread about my experience. I'm really glad I got a refund for my money. Unfortunately, I'm now a bit traumatized in commissioning somebody again. Miwu says, it's been a while. I'm considering removing Astria Studios from my bio on Twitch. They ghost everyone, including myself. I'm glad to have, fortunately, a working model. They fixed my surprise expression, but I wish I could tweak and upgrade my model to have more features. Connors writes, Dear Astria Studios, or should I say Candy Jam, wake up. I'll never forget when you guys scammed me out of almost 700 to 800 USD, and I see your behavior hasn't changed a bit at all. If your client is unhappy with their work with them, not against them. Nanny Roo says, this makes me wish I got my money back then when it was just Candy Jam, but they ghosted and I lost 1.2k euros. Astria adds, DM us and we'll provide you a refund, so we don't know if there was a refund on this or not. Welcome Jupiter says, I unfortunately paid Candy Jam directly, so no dice. Been out of $500 since then. Haven't been able to reaccrue it because of my monetary situation, so just been sitting on a lovely model with no hope of rigging it anytime soon. And that sucks because you're essentially kind of out the money, because even if you have a working model, you're out the rig. So this is where things get really finicky, because there's all this mention of Candy Jam. So what is Candy Jam's relationship with Astria Studios? According to Misty, Candy Jam is an employee of Astria, where Astria had agreed to take Candy Jam into their studio and take on the unfinished clients. So we'll have to translate this by Google Translate, but Misty says, Candy Jam, aka Candy Jam 2, is an employee at Astria since June 2024. The studio introduced the employees and announced taking over the former clients and ongoing business of unfinished work and refunds with Candy Jam a year ago already. What's the lore behind Candy Jam? Well, we're back again with Tantan, with a post made September 6, 2023 about their experience with Candy Jam, where they cite that they've lost $910. So they first indicate that the start of the communications were nice and quick and they received a rig update. February 27, 2023, they paid for Candy's service in full, and rigging began immediately. And March 12, 2023, they received a fully rigged showcase video. So here you can see Candy in March 2nd updated Tantan, stating the rig is almost done. So they're talking about how there's a little bit of a delay, and they finished it earlier, but because of the delay, they're only now able to send it. And then Candy sends the showcase. Tantan asks for a day to kind of look it over. So Tantan then sends over a document with the list of changes needed, and then they just got ghosted. And Tantan adds, there were many adjustments that needed to be made. Some body parts were noticeably detached from the rest of the body. A few areas visually looked off, and it had a few other asks to rigging preferences. Then I was ignored for 2 months. So you can see here, right? Tantan sent that update March 13th with the doc with all the changes. A month goes by, no update. Tantan bumps it again. Another month goes by. Tantan once again bumps it. And you can see here, Tantan is trying their best, right? Because Candy Jam is located in China. If you guys don't know, China has the Great Firewall, lovely, which is their ban system. So you can't access a lot of websites. You can't access Google, you can't access Facebook, you can't access Instagram because it's owned by Meta. So there's all of that. So Tantan was trying to reach Candy Jam on Twitter. So you can see Twitter DM sent here. Here, Tantan had tried reaching out on Bilibili, which is a Chinese live streaming site, to try to find the best way to contact Candy Jam. And Tantan adds they tried reaching out over all these platforms. And because Candy's based in China, you know, Tantan was giving them benefit of doubts. So Tantan adds, May 14th, 2023, Candy publicly releases a Twitter update, and Tantan discovered that a lot of clients were in the same situation. So Candy, you know, is updating about VPN issues and having a friend kind of act as a proxy. And some commenters are asking, hey, I need my model done. Hello, I DM'd you, probably for an update on their model. I've been waiting for my refund for 1 year with no update or model. Please stop ghosting and refund me now. Another person who is asking for updates. So Tantan adds that they reached out the same day for an update, and then Candy tweeted that they replied to everybody, except Tantan didn't get a reply. So then Tantan reaches out, and the next day they get an update. So this was the tweet, you know, these are the updates Tantan sent to Candy. We don't know where the studio is from. One of their artists is based in China. So here Tantan talks to the friends through Candy's Discord. So May 29th, conversations pick up again, and then Tanny gets ghosted again. So they're sending some updates about the changes, and then they're talking about the arm and tongue.
At Wayfair, ordering in delivers all the style.
What are we craving?